Good afternoon, my magical beings. If you're new to my channel, I am Tammy. I am a practicing witch. And if you're a pre-existing subscriber, welcome, guys. Yes, I'm in my watermelon pajamas. It's my day off with the holiday Monday. I'm normally off Sunday, Mondays, so I get an extra day off during the week. So today's my extra day off. So I'm trying to take advantage of it and do some witchy stuff. And yeah, it's a little chilly here in Ottawa where I live. So it is a pajama and sleep sock day today for me. But today I am doing a tarot card unboxing. One of my lovely friends, sorry, the weather going up and down, my allergies and sinuses are being a little wonky the last couple of days. One of my lovely co-workers, one of my friends at work, I've done a few readings for her over the past few months to a year, and she always gets me like a surprise. So usually it's like some candles or something. And this time she told me last week, and she's like, I have a surprise for you. It's coming in on Friday, so I'm going to give it to you on Tuesday. Me, I'm thinking, you know, it's another candle, because she's always giving me candles or something, right? And she's just a really sweet person. She has a really, really good heart. So, and she hands me a tarot deck. And I was like, oh my God, you did not have to do that. But yeah, she bought me a tarot deck. So, and she's like, I put a crystal on it, and I put it out in the full moon to like cleanse and like charge and stuff. And I was like, I love how my practice is becoming other people's practices, which is the whole goal, right? Is not to, you know, change your practice, but just to make our practice, you know, people to be more aware of our practice. I'm trying to find my words. So full moon coming. I don't sleep much the week of the full moon. Premenopause on top of it. One of the good old side effects from that is insomnia, as well as endometriosis. Another side effect is insomnia. So I'm triple play over here for the last week. So I've barely had a lot of sleep this past week. So yeah, so, you know, everybody at work kind of will ask me things, you know, like if members are being a little extra cunty, that's what I like to call it. They'll come and ask, Tammy, is there a full moon coming up soon? Like, people are just extra today. And I always laugh. I've gotten numerous people at work into crystals and carrying them on themselves to help with like anxiety and stress and self-love and, you know, stuff like that. So you know, different ways of thinking for like the holidays and just things like that, you know, spreading knowledge and awareness, which is what I'm trying to do, right? So anyways, yeah, so she bought me this deck and she told me what she did, which I thought was absolutely adorable. And I'm so appreciative of her and her friendship and, you know, her heart and stuff like that. So I'm doing an unboxing. And I actually thought my second oldest had this deck for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. I thought she had this, but she doesn't have this. But my older daughter actually had this on her Yule desk. on her Yule list last year. So that's where that came from. So I thought for some reason one of them had it. But anyways, so I just took the wrapper off and kind of skimmed at the cards very quickly. I didn't really look at the cards or look at the book or anything like that. So I was just curious what they looked like, because she gave it to me at work, right? It's like giving a kid candy and saying, you can't eat it right now. I'm like, no. Tarot cards are, and oracle cards are like my candy, right? So I'm not a candy person, so that's my candy. And so I opened it at work on my first break, and I just kind of skimmed through to see the artwork. From what I've seen super quickly, I really like the artwork on it. So I'm actually excited to work with these cards. But yeah, so I'm just gonna take a sip of on this lovely cup. As you can see, tarot cards and tea leaves. I thought it was fitting. Tarot cards. This beautiful cup actually came from Witch Casket, my bad. From Witch Casket, which is a UK subscription box that I get. So if you're interested, get your subscription box. I believe their October boxes are now closed, but their November boxes are open. And once you become a Casket crew member, you can order past Casket items. So you'll be able to order this cup. So I am going to light a candle that she had given me a little while back. I didn't want to light it because it kind of gave me like fall and kind of like Samhain kind of vibe, so I wanted to save it for this time of year. It smells amazing. I don't know where she gets her candles, but I absolutely love them. Every time she gives me a candle as a gift, I'm like, oh my god, I love it. But this is Waylon Van Eck. So see what I mean with like the crows and ravens and stuff, and it looks like there's a wand here. Just kind of gave me, you know, witchy vibes. So I figured, oh, that flame's really big. I figured we would light the candle. Perfect. And I have my cleansing sticks here so I can cleanse my deck and stuff. I've got a nice selenite chunk here as well. So, all right, guys. So this is the deck here. It is Modern Witch Tarot Deck by Lisa Starrell. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Liminal 11. All right. Okay. So that's the box, and it's a nice card box. I like it because it's not, although I do like the box sets though, because I like the full size book, like, and fully illustrated and stuff like that. I don't care if they're colored or not, but I like the full book, that, you know, companion book that comes with them instead of that little paper leaflet. That's just my preference myself, because sometimes with tarot decks, each tarot deck, yes, they follow the general, you know, rule of thumb, so to speak, for the tarot itself, which is the reader right way. Sorry, my brain went. They'll still have their own twist and their own kind of intuitive click with it, as well as, you know, the traditional way of reading it. So that's why I like the books, because then if that is the case, it'll say it in there, so then you'll know what the energy of the deck is kind of about, and, you know, that kind of thing. I learned that Hold on, let me close my window. That is the garbage truck going by. I learned that when I actually bought my very first deck, which was the Dreams of Gaia. Absolutely love that deck. The imagery is just phenomenal. My husband actually really, really loved the imagery, like the artwork. Um, I wouldn't recommend it as your very first tarot deck, just because it's kind of confusing, because it's not like your, it's not your typical major arcanas and your minor arcanas, you know, like the wands and all that. It's all the elements. So if you're just coming into tarot and you're not familiar that each suit represents an element, you're going to be completely lost. And the same thing with like their major arcana cards. They're so different. That deck is really, really good for working on yourself. So things that you're trying to work on or work through within yourself or your core self, your current self, 100%. That deck is really, really good. So, and I have a few other decks in here where they kind of have like their own, yes, they follow the typical traditional way, but they also have their own kind of feel and energy and intuitive answers as well, right? So, all right. Okay, so it slides open. Yeah, I really love the box. It's really cute inside. It's got all of the suits inside there. And just a plain black. Alright, so let's do this. Okay, where's she on my bed? Okay, so, oh, cute. So this one actually has a little book. Whoops, look at me almost dropping everything. So it has a little book. See that? I didn't drop the cards at least. I just dropped the book. All right, so it's got a good cardstock, or good cardstock, sorry. It's a hardcover book. Okay, and it's a page on each of the major arcana cards. And about a paragraph for each of the minor arcana cards. Yeah. Okay, let's see what's it says. Okay, what you are holding in your hands is a beautiful example of so it's a very diverse deck from what I'm reading here. So it's young, middle age, old, femme, I know what the word is, but for whatever reason it doesn't want to come out of my mouth. Androgynous. Apologize if I'm not pronouncing it right, but I know what it is. Masculine, black, brown, white. You'll find artists, schoolers, fighters, warnings and celebrations, and most importantly, enlightenment. So it's a very diverse deck, which I absolutely appreciate, especially just, yes, I look white, but I'm actually a half native. My mother is full native. My father is Métis and Scottish. I just came out with, you know, the white skin, the blue eyes, because my dad's got the blue eyes. You know, the kind of reddish hair. My hair's, well, actually, you know, my hair changed color as I got older, which is super common apparently on my dad's side of the family. They were all born with either really, really, really blonde hair or like red copper hair. And that's what I had. I was like a strawberry kind of blonde. And then when I hit my 30s, my hair started getting a bit darker. And now in my 40s, this is what my hair color is, besides my fun stuff, you know. So I started late in life doing fun things with my hair. So my older sibling actually came out with the dark hair, the dark eyes, the olive skin. It skipped me. So and then also being married to a Caribbean man and having biracial children, I do readings for my two older daughters. Sometimes they do their own readings, but sometimes they'll be like, hey mom, like I'm not in the right headspace about it, or like I think it's picking up on my personal emotions. Can you do a reading for me? And then I'll do a reading for them. So I like the fact that it's so diverse that they'll feel a connection to the cards because there's, you know, black people and brown people, and do you know what I mean? So 100% love that. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that may pop out. Okay. Let me see. Sometimes they put it at the back of the book. So I just want to see. If they had put anything. Sorry guys. Bear with me. Okay. Oh, it says something about extra cards in here. Okay, so there's 2 extra cards in here apparently. The Everything is Fine card can be used to replace the Ten of Swords. A version of this card with this tagline was the first I drew from the deck. The first I drew for the deck. And then this final card is a little bit of inspiration from me to you. So do you give like a little, small little writing of... I just want to see if they do a little writing for that extra card. So it looks like it's the Ten of Swords. So sometimes they give a reasoning as to why they, like the reasoning why they made that extra card. So that's what I'm just trying to see. And am I just... Okay, here it is. Sorry. I just overlooked it. They have it here. So it all started with the Ten of Swords. I was a few years into a dead-end design job that was slowly draining my creativity, my passion for art, and my general faith in humanity. On one particular terrible day, I was feeling my absolute lowest, doubting myself and the path I'd taken. I didn't know how to escape my situation, and all options seemed equally terrifying and awful. Through luck or fate, I was somehow reminded of the Ten of Swords. I flipped through my deck, and there I was staring at this card and feeling it in my bones. I made the very first illustration of the Modern Witch Tarot deck that day when everything is fine, in quotations, was the thing I'd been telling myself for a long time. My self-esteem and perceived artistic worth was at an absolute bottom when I drew that illustration. Then, unbelievably, the image resonated with people. It resonated with a lot of people, more than any other piece of art I had ever made. I realized then that through my pain and misery, I had finally arrived somewhere on the other side. My wish is that you can turn to this deck for answers or for guidance when you are feeling absolutely awful or full of love and joy. I hope that these cards can be a tool for you to work through your pain or to grow to understand your choices or solidify some spark of inspiration. I hope that you too can find the path you need to take. Lisa Sturrell. Okay, so that is the 2 extra cards. So we'll take a peek. I'm just going to rest this here. Stay. Alrighty. Okay. You are a badass being, full of life, love, and possibilities. Through this deck, may you find a path to your best self. So it's like a little affirmation card, which is amazing. I love that. And I'll put that there. Alrighty. So it should start, yes, so it starts with the Major Arcana. So that's the back of the card. The cardstock's a little thick. It's a thicker cardstock. It's a very sleek card. So it's not matte. It's not a matte finish anyway. So some people have a hard time with the I forget what they call it, like the finished cards where they're super shiny. Laminated, I think is what they call it. Because if they have a hard time shuffling, they're a little more slippier, they're a little more slick when you're trying to shuffle. I personally don't have an issue with it, but the cardstock is a little thick, so we'll see how they shuffle with the thicker cardstock. Usually with a thicker cards, because I'm pretty sure I have a deck in here that has a cardstock kind of similar, I can shuffle no problem. I just can't ruffle shuffle. I can't get the cards to do it. I might have to split it into 2 if I do it, but it's not a big deal. Very colorful backgrounds. The illustration is very colorful. They did stick to the traditional with the dog. So this is the Fool, which is the beginning of your journey, right? This is the beginning of your path. So that's the Fool. They just changed it. It's a female, but she's got the dog there getting ready to take that leap of faith off that cliff. You know, you've got mountains in the back, which when you have mountains in the back, it speaks for like growth and, you know, stuff like that. So very bright colors, which, you know, same thing. All right. And then we have the Magician. Oh, I really like how they did the Magician card. This is really pretty. Um, so traditional, the magician card in the traditional decks is usually at a table, and then he has each of the four suits uh, that's represented on like his altar. So this one, she's actually out in the wilderness, and she has all of them there. So she's using, you know, Mother Earth. She's using nature as, you know, her altar to represent the elements. You know, she's pointing up, pointing down, as above, so below, you know, the divine. And you can see all of the elements. So she's got the wand here, the infinity. There's your swords. There's your pentacles, which is earth. And her cups is there. She's got, you know, the wand in her hand for wands. And I really love the fact, like, it actually reminds me of my daughters when they put their hair in their pom-poms. Love it. And the back of the cards actually show, you have the swords, you got the wands, the cups, the pentacles, you have the key, right? It's the key to your intuition and to the unknown, key to the realms, key to your future, key to your past, your present. So this is the High Priestess. And I really like how they did it kind of modernized too. So there's even like modern technology. Like in the Fool, she's listening to her phone. You see her cell phone in her hand and the headphones, and you know, she's, you know, just jamming it out, listening to her music and strolling and just, yes, I'm going into that future. I'm taking that leap of faith listening to my tunes, you know. And then this one, the High Priestess, she's got a laptop in front of her. She's got the drape in the background with the pomegranates. You have the two pillars, white, black, balance. The crescent moon there, the purple robe. So they still stayed within that. I love it. Beautiful. So that's the High Priestess. Okay, I'm loving this Empress card. This is like a beautiful, beautiful queen. I love the white dress. She's got like the lemons kind of coming up. She's sitting on a beautiful, comfy chair. You got the mountains in the back, the tree, the water flowing. Very powerful colors, powerful jewelry, beautiful headpiece. It's just a gorgeous card. Look at that. Like, she's sure of herself. Like, no, I know, you know. Power. That's what I see. Power. And then we have the Emperor. I love the Emperor. It has like the New York buildings in the back. So the deck on the back of it, it does say New York on it. So I'm guessing that's where they were made, like, from New York. Again, the black with the white. It's got the Ankh here. And I'm loving the horns. She's got her horns. I love the energy. So far, so good. I'm really liking the imagery on these guys. The Hierophant. It's beautiful. The keys on the bottom. And she's got like beautiful tattoos on her arms and shoulders here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cards. Oh, I like the Lovers card. This is very different for the Lovers card. I like this. You have the burning bush, the burning tree on the masculine side. The feminine side, you have the apple tree, but you have the snake going up the apple tree. You've got the path ahead, the darkness, the stars, right? Like the unknown. And I love the imagery, like the color scheme that they used for it. I love it. The Chariot. I like the Chariot. You got the Sphinx there, the white and the black, talking about balance. The Chariot, she's got her wand in her hand, but she's on a motorcycle, like a badass bitch. She's got that power. And you see the New York buildings in the background. I love it. Love it. And then we have the Strength card. Beautiful card. You know, she's tamed the beast, right? And now she's going forward. The Hermit. Again, I love the imagery. Beautiful, like, antique table, but then the laptop sitting on it. And it looks like she's actually closing the laptop, like taking that time for herself. The Wheel of Fortune. I like how they did it. They have the astrology in each of the corners instead of like that animal, how they would have the astrology animals in each of the corners. It's just, it's the symbols. Justice. I'll try not to spend too much time on each of the cards. It's just the imagery is really nice. They're really good. So this one, instead of the Hanged Man, they say the Hanged One. I absolutely love that. It's not a label on it, or there's not a gender attached to it, I should say. It just says the Hanged One. I love that she changed that. Or they, them. Whichever their pronouns are that they go by that created this deck. I love that that was changed. Death. I like how they did the Death card. Temperance. I love the Temperance card. This is beautiful. She's got the rainbow shirt, you know, so everybody's included. I love that. Like I said, it's such an inclusive deck. You know, so everybody will feel connected, you know, and see themselves in this deck, right? The Devil. So they somewhat stuck to the traditional devil, but I like the imagery, how they did it, though. The Tower. The Star. I love this. This is beautiful. Nice, you know, full-figured woman. The Moon. Yes. I love how they did the moon card. The sun, the sunflowers, the child on the horse, but the child has a robe on. The old traditional deck, it's usually a nude child on the back of the horse, which I never understood why it was nude, but anyways. Judgment. The world. Beautiful. And then we're now into the minor, so Ace of Wands. It's kind of like a witch hand. I like it, coming out of the clouds. And then we have Two of Wands. Oh, yes. I love this. She's got her cell phone in her hand. Like I said, the modern, you know, flares to it. I love. Beautiful. Three of Wands. Four of Wands. Five of Wands. Which all of the fives in all four suits is, they're not very nice cards. Six of Wands. She actually reminds me of my daughter. Sorry. Beautiful. Seven of Wands. Eight of Wands. Nine of Wands. 10 of Wands. Burden. You know, all about carrying things that you need to let go of. Burdens that don't belong to you. Page of Wands. Knight of Wands. Queen of Wands. Oh, I love the black cat down below. That's my kitty. It's my kitty Lilith. I have a black cat with kind of yellow orangey eyes. She's a kitten. She's about 7 months old. Her name's Lilith. King of Wands. And that's the end of the wand suit. So now we're into the cup suits. I love the cups. Very like pastel colors. Again, the little witch hand. Two of Cups. Partnership. Three of Cups. Love it. Even all the clothes are all like modernized. Four of Cups. Five of Cups. Spending so much time of, you know, the cups being spilt, so to speak, and not realizing, you know, what's still there in front of you and, you know, that kind of thing. Six of Cups. Don't focus on the past. Leave the past behind. Focus on the future and what's in front of you. And Seven of Cups, which is choice, right? Decisions. The little witch there, trying to decide. Her little witch hat. I love it. I just noticed it as I put it down. And then we have the Eight of Cups. Nine of Cups. Ten of Cups. Rejoice. Page of Cups. Sorry, that was my husband. You just heard the front door, so. And then we have Knight of Cups. Queen of Cups. Oh, I love this Queen of Cups. Very like mermaid kind of vibe with the mermaid actually down below. Sorry, I'm trying to... Okay. Ooh, fix myself. I'm like sliding off my bed here. King of Cups. And then now we are into the sword suit. I love this. Hand coming out. Two of Swords. Three of Swords. This I like. So it's still kind of the same depiction as the traditional one, but they added, you know, like the black blood here, you know. I like that. They changed it up a little. I like it. Four of Swords. Feeling that pressure, you know, that pressure is coming down. Five of Swords. All about the battle, the fight, when to walk away. It's okay to walk away. Pick up your remaining, you know, swords, so to speak, and move along. Take with you, you know, what you learned, so to speak, and time to move along. Six of Swords. Or, you know, you won the battle, like this. Different ways how people can look at it. Seven of Swords. Eight of Swords. That's the thing with tarot is, yes, you have your overall traditional meanings of the cards, like guidelines, I guess. But as you see the imagery and as, you know, you become more familiar with tarot and more in tune with tarot, your intuition just comes out even more and it gets stronger and stronger, especially with your decks. And you're able to put your own intuitive readings with the cards, right? And then you'll be reading more intuitively once you're, you know, continuously reading and reading and reading, which, I mean, you can't better your... Love you. Sorry, it was my husband. What was I saying? Right. You'll start reading them more intuitively, the cards, because, you know, you'll see a card and you'll be like, oh, okay, you know, and you'll also know, like, everybody will have their own intuitive reading for each card, you know, like my view of, say, the Ten of Swords is going to be different, you know, than yours. You know, my view of the Tower is going to be different, you know, than your, like, it's just, it's how it is, right? Everybody has their own spin, their own intuitive reading and meanings of the cards than you know, the next witch, right? Then obviously you have your overall general meaning of the cards, but you always end up adding your own as you get more familiar with the cards. So this is the Nine of Swords. Pressure's really, really, really coming down. And I mean, practice, practice, practice. That's all I can say. You know, anybody that wants to do tarot and read tarot, just practice. You know, you're not gonna learn your craft, strengthen your craft and strengthen your gift if you're not practicing. You know, start off with just yourself. You know, that's what I did. I started off doing cards for myself, doing a card pull every day for myself. Then I started doing weekly readings for myself, and you know, then I started doing readings for my two older daughters, because I don't do readings for under 18. I personally don't believe in it because you're too young. You know, your path can, you know, it's just, you're a kid. I'm sorry. So 18, which generally most tarot practitioners that I know and tarot professionals that I know do not do readings under the age of 18. Some do not do readings under the age of 20 or 21. So I have met a few that don't do readings under 20 or 21. So each his own, each preference. Me personally, my preference, I don't do under 18. So, you know, then once, you know, you get comfortable doing readings for yourself, you get comfortable doing readings for your immediate circle. So like your family, you know, if you have adult children, you know, your husband, you know, your sister, you know, your mom, you know, that kind of thing. Then you start moving more out of your outer circle, you know, so like co-workers, let's say, you know. I've done a few readings for some selected few co-workers that I work with at work, and my readings were bang on. And now I'm branching out to strengthen more. It took me a little while to get there, but you know, just things kept kind of popping in the way. So I have my page on my Facebook, where I'm offering readings to people on my friends list, as they're my volunteers, you know, so I'm not charging for my readings. They're my volunteers for me to practice and strengthen my tarot. So this will be something that I'll be doing every week. Right now it's on a Monday, just because I have something on the Sunday. Going forward, it'll be on the Sundays, except for the Sundays that I have class. So then it'll be the Mondays, but it'll be every week. Every week it's a time slot from 12:30 to 4:30. That's all I'm doing is the readings, and I do 5 readings at a time. And then I'll probably eventually, once I see how that's going and I get kind of, you know, into the groove of doing that, then I'll probably move it to 2 days a week. So it'll be like the Sunday, Monday kind of thing, where I'll be doing readings, you know, and I'll have that time block set off, where I'll be doing readings. And it's just to further my gift, strengthening my gift, strengthening my psychic abilities, my clairvoyance, all my clairs, just getting everything in tuned and strengthened, and you know, stuff like that, so I can kind of get where I was when I initially started on my path. So on with the cards. Sorry guys. So the Ten of Swords, I like how they did this Ten of Swords. So she's got her cell phone, right? And she's lying down. She's got all the 10 swords, you know, in the back of her. Now, they did do this one a little different than other Tens of Swords. So usually a lot of the other Ten of Swords, they have that, but then they'll have like some kind of sun and kind of coming up in the background, so you don't know if it's a sunset or a sunrise. And then there's usually like a flower here somewhere, which the flower kind of represents. Okay, you've reached your breaking point, you've reached the bottom, you can only go up from now. So what have we learned from our past hurt and past traumas, past, confrontations? What have we learned from the last 9 steps, so to speak, that got us here? So let's take what we've learned so we can now move forward. For me, that's how I take the Ten of Swords, because the symbol of the flower growing, and then you kind of have the sun in the back. It's kind of, new growth now is coming. You've had all these, traumatic things happen, or all of this conflict, whatever the case may be. This has all happened to you, and you're still here. You're still breathing. It may feel like you've got 10 swords stabbing you in your back, depending, whatever the case or scenario may be. But now we're going to learn from those mistakes. So now we're going to move forward, and we're not going to repeat those mistakes again. So that's my take on the Ten of Swords myself personally. The same thing with the Tower. So this is the new card she was talking about. Everything is fine. The whole denial. Yeah, everything's fine. Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's really not fine, You're now, like, at your breaking point, so to speak, right? Page of Swords. Knight of Swords. There's a book that I want to get, and it's literally just the court cards. A lot of people get a little kind of mixed up a little with the court cards. Me too. I'm not even gonna lie. Just kind of reading and interpreting them, sometimes it could be a little difficult, the court cards, and the major arcana cards. A lot of people have a hard time with the major arcana cards too. But this book specifically only deals with the court cards, which I like. And then they have another book that does the tarot cards, and I think there's a third one where it's just the major arcana. I'm not 100% sure. The court cards is actually what caught my attention. Queen of Swords. King of Swords. Now we're on to the Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. So this is the last suit. Two of Pentacles. Balance. All about balance. Three of Pentacles. I love, she's a full figured woman. You have like 3 different generations here, You have the maiden, which is student, she's the student here, the mother, and then the crone. I love that, triple goddess kind of energy there. 4 of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles. Gifts, bearing gifts, giving gifts to others. 7 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles. Got all that abundance in there. 10 of Pentacles. You have all generation in there. Page of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, I love this Queen. Fertility, you know, with the bunny there. Bunnies represent fertility. Abundance. Sorry. Such a pretty card. And then we have the King of Pentacles. Perfect. Wow. So, if you've got small hands, might be a little hard to shuffle, just because the cardstock is a little thicker, so the deck's a little thicker as well. Alright, so let's get our deck cleansed. So this is Blue Sage and Copal. So I'm gonna split the deck up into 3 just so I can cleanse it well, just because it's a thicker deck. Alrighty. Trim this again. Just got to open the window a bit just to let out any stagnant energy that may be on the cards. I just don't feel like trimming it right now. I will do it after the video. After a while, when you burn this much sticks, you kind of have to trim the burnt parts off so it smolders better. There we go. Get a nice, good smoke on there. So when you're cleansing, whether you're cleansing yourself, cleansing your space, cleansing your cards, or any other of your altar tools, you always want to make sure you have a window open so that any of the stagnant energy could go outside. Perfect. And then our last set. And then you can put a selenite crystal on there as well to charge the deck. Black tourmaline is another one that's really good. Sometimes I'll do both black tourmaline and selenite. Some decks will actually tell you specifically what crystals to use. A deck that I got in a subscription box, it gave specific it gave specific crystals to put with it. So with that one, because it was the Enchanted Forest, I believe is the name of the deck, it said like moss agate, tree agate, you know, anything that was like earth-based, forest-based. So I have a moss agate in there, and a tree agate in there. And then I have some acorns in there as well. And that stays in my tarot bag at all times when with the deck. So decks that I'm working with or haven't worked with for a little bit, I will put them under my pillow and I will sleep with them until I feel the need not to. Sometimes it's only a couple of days, sometimes it's a couple of weeks. You know, I go by my, you know, my intuition of, you know, how long. So and I do have a case that I can put these ones in too. And I have another piece of a selenite here somewhere that I can put in there. All right, let's see, we're over here, right? I think somewhere there. Like, I know you were over there somewhere. All right. Time for the shuffling. I'm just going to move the candle. Oh, maybe not there. Here. Put it right here. There we go. All right. Let's see how it shuffles. Okay. They're a little slippery, but again, like I said, it doesn't bother me. They shuffle pretty good. It just makes for a slicker shuffle when they're like super shiny and kind of finished like this. They have that gloss, the high gloss finish. It just makes for like a slicker shuffle is all. So some people have a hard time controlling the cards when they're like that, so they prefer either matte or like semi-matte. Most of my cards are semi-matte. I do have an oracle deck that's matte, which even matte can have its own challenges shuffling because sometimes the cards don't shuffle as well. They tend to stick. Same thing with these. It just... Okay, let's see. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. See, that's what I mean. But it's fine. Like I said, that doesn't bother me. I'm a pretty good shuffler, so I'm not as good as I used to be. I played a lot of card games growing up, so you know, euchre, bridge, stuff like that. So I actually got quite good with shuffling. A lot of the stuff that they do in the casinos I used to do, but then I hadn't played cards in like over 20 years, so I forgot how to do all of it. I do remember how to ruffle shuffle, which I generally do, which is like this. So that, okay, so the cardstocks are a little too firm for me to do that. Let me see if I can do it if I split the deck up. And see, sometimes if I split the deck up, I can do it because then the deck is a little more flexible. Okay, so I would just have to split the deck up a bit to do it. Again, once you start using the deck, and if you do the ruffle shuffling like this, eventually the cards will, they won't be so as stiff, like so stiff, and you'll be able to do it. So that's one set. I'll rest you there. So I just have to split it to do it. So it'll eventually do it. Okay, so let's do another shuffle. So another thing, if you have small hands and you have large cards, you can also shuffle this way. I have a tarot deck. The cards are actually about this long, and I have to shuffle them that way. I don't work with that deck very much. I think the last time I did it, I used that deck. I was actually doing a love reading. I had a really hard time connecting with the imagery on it. But sometimes you have a deck, you buy it, you don't connect with the imagery, but then a year, 2 years down the road, for some reason that deck calls to you and you start working with it, and all of a sudden all the imagery makes sense, right? So you can shuffle that way, but I'm okay with doing it this way. And everybody has different ways of shuffling, different ways how they prepare for the readings, do their readings. Some people blow on the cards, some people, I knock on the cards. I blow on them too, my energy. Some people will get their client or current to shuffle the deck, so their energy kind of gets on the deck, which is why it's super important to cleanse your cards in between your readings for people, or at least cleanse it once throughout when you're doing your readings. I have done where I've done like 3 readings in a row for 3 separate people, so I'll do the reading for one current, and then after I do the reading, I'll collect up the cards, shuffle it, I put it down, I put a selenite stick on it, I'll take a sip of my tea or whatever I'm drinking. You know, I'll give myself a little kind of cleanse in between, and then I'm on to the next client, and just to change the energy, especially if you have them touching the deck and shuffling the deck. And some tarot readers don't allow anybody to touch their deck but themselves. I'm not like that. It doesn't bother me because I cleanse my cards so much, and I charge my cards so much. I cleanse my space so much. It doesn't bother me, so. All right, so these I'll be sleeping with, obviously, to get my energy on them. I may even use this deck, we'll see, for my first tarot card session. All right, I hear one of my children coming up. Children meaning my adult children. Okay, so let's... Spirit, let's pick a card, just a general card for our readers today. What guidance or message do you have for our readers today, Spirit? So we have the Magician. So that's the other thing. Some people will separate the cards by 3, then gather them up, take the first card. Some people will kind of let the cards drop and then take the middle card. And see, I'm quick like a cat. Some people will just take from the top of the deck. Some will fan them out like this on their table or their altar, and you let your hand kind of hover over and you pick the cards out. Some tarot readers will spread the cards out in front of them, and they'll get their current to pick 3 cards. So they let them intuitively pick 3 cards, and then they read it that way. There's so many different ways of doing it. There's no right or wrong way. It's your practice. It's what speaks to you, what your intuition tells you. I've done various. I follow my intuition. So sometimes I pick from the middle. Sometimes I'll do from the top. Sometimes I'll fan it. Depends. So we got the beautiful Magician card. So let's see what they have for the write-up. Alrighty, so it's time to make some magic, to turn dreams into reality. The magician knows what she wants and knows what she'll need to get it, to make it happen. Standing confidently and boldly, brandishing a wand towards the sky, the magician channels magic and inspiration into herself and transforms it into creative energy. Laid out before her is all she needs on a crystalline pedestal. The sword, her smarts and wit, prepares her for the task ahead. Her cup is filled and emotionally connects. Sorry, I just lost my... emotionally connects the magician to her goal. The pentacle is the life experience that taught her how the world works. The other wand drives her forward into action, because wands is an action card, right? Bring those lofty dreams down to earth. Make them real. You know what you want, and you have the magic within you to make it happen. Believe in yourself. You know that you're ready to start creating. Let that inspiration flow through you and use all your tools to make some stuff. So that's actually very fitting for me anyways. I don't know if it's fitting for you guys. Let me know in the comment box down below if this card actually speaks to you. For me, on a personal level, absolutely does. Yesterday, like I was saying earlier, I created my event page on my Facebook. To do public readings for my friends on Facebook, which I think I have like over 400 or 500 people on my Facebook. So it's open to anybody that's on my Facebook friends list. And I'm doing 5 at a time. When you get further and further into your practice, if you're new to your practice and you're new to tarot, the further you get into your practice, the further you get into your teachings of tarot and, you know, learning and, you know, doing tarot, you'll notice that it's very energetically draining. So it drains you energetically to the point where you kind of almost feel drunk. I've only done it a few times where I've done too many readings in one day, and it left me very like I wasn't grounded anymore. Like I was air, you know, I was just kind of floating. you know, so it left, like, my brain was very foggy. I was actually lightheaded. I had a bit of a headache. But my headache wasn't here. My headache was right here in my third eye. Um, so, 5 is my limit per day for readings, which usually, generally, some people it's that. You know, kudos to those who can do more than that, but for me right now, 5 is my limit. Most of the tarot readers that I do know, 5 to 6 is their limit. I think I only know one person that can do 10 readings in one day, but it's literally the whole day, you know. So like she'll start, you know, in the morning, like maybe 9, 10 in the morning, and then she's done by like, you know, 4 or 5 kind of thing, and she'll do 10 in that span. It is very draining. So for me, 5 is, you know, when you're doing any type of divination, always make sure you have something to drink, you know, some herbal teas. Make sure you have water by you as well. Water is cleansing, so you can cleanse yourself. Have, you know, something light to snack on, like some nuts, dried fruit. I like to keep these kind of little wafer crackers kind of around when I'm doing any type of spell work, divination, anything like that, because it's something that's quick that I can just munch on and it grounds me right away. I also do 3 cleansing breaths before I do my readings, which you guys seen. And I give myself a bit of time in between my readings just to kind of ground myself again. Get up, move around if you're able to kind of change the energy in your body. You'll know if your energy is stagnant, you know, in between your readings, because your readings will kind of come up kind of jumbled, like they don't make sense. And then it's usually because you need to change the energy. So when that happens, I'll kind of re-cleanse my cards, and I'll put a selenite stick on top of it. I'll get up, I'll walk around, you know, I'll go to the bathroom, come back, have a drink of my tea, or, you know, whatever it is that I'm drinking. I'll drink some water, you know, a handful of nuts or something to ground myself, and then I come back, and then I do the question again. Sometimes I might even change the wording a little, and then my reading is usually like perfect, bang on after that. So as for starting, it all depends on you. You know, you can cast a circle if you want. You don't have to. Right now I do my readings at home for people. So I usually kind of let everybody in the house know, hey, like I'm busy, you know, don't come in my room. I'll text my girls like I'm doing readings, you know, like I can't be disturbed. That case, because I'm at home, I'll cast a circle. I'll cast a circle, and I'll call in the elements, and I'll call in my deity that I work with, and my spirit guide and my ancestors. If I don't have time to do that for whatever reason, I just, you know, do like a little, I don't know, like a little affirmation kind of thing. I'll be like, you know, we're surrounded by, you know, a protective white circle. Only positive spirits and ancestors can enter this circle, who have, you know, good intentions in their heart for myself and for my client. My client's ancestors are more than welcome to come through, that kind of thing. you know, and sometimes I don't do any of that. I'll just call upon my spirit guides and my ancestors, you know, and if there's any spirit guides or ancestors out there for my client that want to come through, I'm open, you know, if you have a message, come through. It it really depends. Like, I don't have one specific way of doing it because I follow my intuition each time, and sometimes my intuition will change from person to person to person. So with that being said, like I said, it's your practice. You do what feels right to you and what resonates with you. You know, the same thing, you know, when I'm talking about tarot, or if I'm like my other videos, I did videos earlier on, you know, talking about the major arcanas and talking about the minor arcanas and, you know, things like that. That's just my, you know what I mean? Some of my take on the cards and the meanings. You can take what feels right to you, and you'll notice that your intuitive reading will change from when you first started out doing tarot, and then once you've progressed and became like more knowledgeable of tarot and more intuitive with your tarot, you'll notice that some of the meanings to you will change a bit. You know, they'll be more in depth now because, you know, you're doing it so frequently, so you're picking up more intuitively, and your spirit guides and your ancestors will also, you know, help you along with that as well. You know, you'll see a card and you'll be like, okay, yeah, that, and you'll just start feeling it and feeling it and feeling it. And then it just starts kind of coming and you're just kind of rumbling it off your mouth, right? So, you know, don't be hard on yourself. And anybody can do tarot. You know, you don't have to be psychic. You don't have to be, anybody can do tarot. It's all about intuition. Tarot will actually help strengthen your intuition. That's what I believe anyways. And most tarot readers, they believe the same thing. A couple little kind of myth things. So there's an old school myth, and I say it a myth because it's not an actual thing, of you're not supposed to buy your first tarot deck. It's bad luck. It's not true. How is a witch who's in the broom closet gonna get her first tarot, or his first tarot, or their first tarot, if nobody knows that they're a witch? Nobody knows they're a witch. How are they going to get their first tarot deck if that was the thing? They would never get a deck because nobody would know to buy them one. Do you know what I mean? Because you're in the closet. You know, you're in the broom closet. You know, nobody knows you're a witch. Nobody knows that, you know, you want to start practicing divination. You know, and there's a lot of tarot readers and other divination practitioners that do not identify as a witch. So you do not have to be a witch to practice divination. It's just, they kind of go hand in hand, generally speaking. But I do know a few people that do tarot that do not classify themselves as a witch. But you would never get a deck. Right? So that's not a thing. I believe cards are very energetic. So a deck will speak to you. And you'll purchase it. This one was a gift. But I had seen this deck actually. And the imagery on the deck looked really, really nice. I'd seen it. I think it was on a like a tarot unboxing or something, and I was like, oh wow, that deck's really, really pretty. And I had seen it in the stores a few times, and like I said, my older daughter actually had this deck on her Yule list. I think it was last year or the year before. So I'm actually excited and happy that I actually now have the deck, and it was gifted to me. So I'm excited to work with the deck and kind of feel the energy out with it. So but yeah, go ahead out there, purchase your own deck, purchase your own oracle deck. You know, you can buy people decks, you know, be like, oh, you know, they really like, you know, imagery like that. I really think they'll like this deck. Like, do you know what I mean? And you buy it. Worst case scenario, if you don't connect with the deck, you know, the deck goes on your shelf. Sometimes you'll end up finding somebody that you know will connect with that deck, and you'll re-gift it to that person, right? That's what we do in our practice, you know, things that we either don't resonate with anymore, or we don't use anymore, or we didn't resonate with, you know, we re-gift it, and we give it to somebody that may actually get use out of it, right? So, but yeah, so that's the little unboxing, tarot unboxing. Obviously, I can't really do a review right now because I haven't worked with the deck. But maybe something I might do later on is do like a review, a tarot review of the deck after I worked with it. I have another deck, like I said, that I just got in my Intentional Witch subscription box, which is the Enchanted Forest. I haven't used that deck yet. I've just been sleeping with it under my pillow. So that's another deck that I'll be using to kind of feel it out and see how it goes. So we'll see, guys. But yeah, until next video, I will see you guys later. Love, light, and magic. Blessed be, guys.